Welcome to the Electric Playground. Today on the show, we catch up with Batman and Ethan Hunt in the rundown.
Plus, we discover the science behind Interstellar.
Everybody ready to say goodbye to our solar system?
And then we continue our deep space survival with Helldivers. Also coming up, we've got a throwback with From Software's Demon Souls. We bust out the cuffs and play cops and robbers with a review of Battlefield Hardline and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EV Games. I'm your host, Marissa Roberto, bringing you the latest and everything cool every single day. I'm not the hero you deserve, but I've got something you need. It's called The Rundown. Here's something that will make Vic go batty. We're going to have to wait a little while longer to play Batman Arkham Knight. The hotly anticipated game has been delayed by 3 weeks and will now swoop down on June 23rd. Developer Rocksteady Studios hasn't given a reason for the push, and this isn't the first time the game has been delayed. It was originally expected to debut last October before the developers decided that they needed more time. Batman Arkham Knight will be the first game in the Arkham series with an M for mature rating from the Entertainment Software Ratings Board. It's billed as the final chapter in the series and is expected to see Batman's story come to a dark and perhaps bloody conclusion.
Where's Scarecrow? Go to hell!
Tom Cruise is 52 years old, but that hasn't stopped him from hanging outside of airplanes. Take a look at Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, the 5th film in the spy franchise. This time around, Ethan Hunt and his team are going up against the Syndicate, a shadowy organization of evil spies that's so large it could be called a nation, or Rogue Nation, like the title. Get it? The Syndicate was actually first introduced in the original 1960s Mission Impossible TV series and has a lot in common with the criminal organization Spectre from the rival James Bond franchise. Perhaps not coincidentally, the latest Bond movie happens to be called Spectre and is already digging up this old idea. That arrives this November after Mission Impossible Rogue Nation infiltrates theaters on July 31st.
Oh, hey boys, what did I miss?
That's it for the rundown. Now, here to join me is Scott C. Jones. Hey, Scott, did you see that Mission Impossible trailer? Tom Cruise is looking pretty good.
Tom Cruise looking young forever, the same way Victor Lucas looks young forever.
Oh, that's sweet. But no, do you feel like we've had enough of this Mission Impossible? Do you like seeing Tom Cruise kick so much butt?
Well, I am kind of over Mission Impossible. I've never been a huge fan, and I know that's had a lot of different directors. Only one star every step of the way, and that's Tom Cruise. And it just kind of seems like white noise to me. Like it's supposed to be this action James Bond thing. It's never been that seductive. I'm not that excited for this new movie. I think the trailer was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to see Simon Pegg in there.
Sure, and there's a sexy lady, of course, and she was kicking some butt as well. I mean, I like seeing that. I like seeing Tom Cruise doing what he does best. I don't like seeing him outside of movies. I feel like it's a little strange. But inside of movies, seeing him do just rock out the way he does, I liked it. I like seeing him hang off that plane.
You know, I loved Edge of Tomorrow, which is now known as Live, Die, Repeat.
Right.
It was so fun. Nobody went to see it, and it really kind of made me maybe not fall in love with him again, but at least be open to the idea that he still has good movies in him again.
Yeah.
You know, this movie is directed by Christopher McQuarrie, who was also part of Jack Reacher, which I didn't really enjoy. Certainly not my favorite Tom Cruise movie.
That was okay.
But you know, I'm glad he's still working. I'm glad he's so lithe. I'm glad he's still strong. I mean, he must be 100 years old by now.
He is 52,
okay,
but maybe he could play the next Batman, so maybe we should move on to Batman.
Let's talk
because
Batman.
Rocksteady delayed the game again.
You know, if you listen carefully, in the walls you can hear Victor Lucas. He's covered in his blanket and he's sobbing. It's only 3 weeks though. It's not an extensive amount of time.
But we don't know why. We don't know why.
And it is a mysterious amount of time to ask for, because when games are generally extended or delayed in this business, usually it's because they're doing some retooling, and it's a significant amount of time, usually 6 months to a year or maybe multiple years. In this case, it's only 3 weeks.
What does it mean?
I know, we may never know what this really means. Maybe the Joker's behind this.
Oh, I like that. Listen, we've got to move on now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on and talk about Interstellar. It's out on Blu-ray. We sent our very own rocket scientist, Marissa Roberto, to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
I know, I went to discover the science behind the film.
NASA.
Everybody ready to say goodbye to our solar system? To our galaxy.
Gentlemen, we are discussing the science behind Interstellar today, so I guess, Kip, I need to ask you to break it down for me. What is the science that we're seeing in Interstellar? Can you break down the actual fact from perhaps a little flight of fancy we're seeing?
So the science you see in Interstellar is of three types. Truth, that is stuff that we are really quite sure is correct, and we know precisely how to depict it scientifically. That's a black hole, and everything you see about the black hole in the movie is the way it really would appear in real life. The warping of space inside here scatters some of it back, light scattering off of the surface of a rippled ocean. You have educated guesses in areas where we're almost sure we know what we're talking about, but not 100% sure. And then there are some areas where it's speculation, where we are reaching beyond the boundaries of our current knowledge, but we are making leaps of intuition where we know enough. There's a possibility that we're right, but it's a good possibility we're wrong too. So wormholes is an example there.
Okay, I was going to ask you.
Here we go.
We have fairly strong reason to believe that wormholes cannot really exist. But my colleagues and I earlier on, more recently my colleagues, have worked very hard to pin that down firmly and have not been able, despite some 25 years of very intense research. We've not been able to get that final firm answer.
We're here. I want to get down fast, don't we?
Actually, we want to get there in one piece.
Hang on.
Your research went into the script, so it went into the screenplay. So how much did you two have to work together? Did you argue a lot? I want to know your relationship a little bit.
We brainstormed together.
Yeah, I wouldn't characterize them as arguments so much as friendly debates. Kip was on the project before I was hired onto it. This is really a script and a film that grew out of the science.
We got this far, farther than any human in history.
Oh, not far enough.
Rather than the other way around. And it was a great experience and really an honor for me to collaborate with Kip over the course of several years to talk through all the concepts in the film. And the idea was really just to present, the idea is that truth is stranger than fiction. Our universe is far stranger than the presentations of it you've seen in film to this point. The phenomena like the title, gravity around us, very quickly spinning black hole, the distortions of time and relativity. We really wanted to show the kind of human impact that might have.
We'll find a way. We always have.
A little behind the scenes info for you. Marissa Roberto got to tour the JPL facility, and she became, as a result, 4% smarter.
Oh, that's very sweet.
We're so proud of you.
guess. Thank you. Interstellar comes out on Blu-ray at the end of the month, and it has tons of special features.
And listen, don't go anywhere, because after the break, we are going hell diving.
Welcome back to EP Daily. Earlier in the show, Marissa explored space courtesy of Interstellar, but now it's time for us to go intergalactic with our review of Helldivers. Cue up those stratagems. We thought we'd shoot in front of these blossoms here because we're going to war in a game called Helldivers.
I don't like the name of that, by the way.
Yeah.
When you said we were going to play Helldivers, that doesn't sound like
Sounds
something
nasty,
I want to play.
doesn't it? Yeah.
But jumping into it, I realized that, you know what? It's this top-down, dual stick, done this before, but the mechanics are really fun.
Yeah, it's like a first-person shooter in a lot of ways, isn't it? It's almost like a cross between Killzone and Diablo.
T-minus 5 seconds.
Yes, which are two things that I really love. What else about this game? Let me just say that it's very difficult.
It is very difficult. Everything will kill you in this sucker.
Everything will kill you. The enemies are insect-like most of the time, and I really didn't like that. But it made me want to kill them even more and squish them even more. And you can do that especially when you hail to the people above you, because you need to send for someone to come grab you. And when you do this, because you have to do that at the end of every mission,
get out of the way.
you gotta get the heck out of the way, because all these things are coming at you, and there's wave after wave of enemy coming at you. You also have to wait for your people to come get you, so you're running around I'm running around for minutes.
So basically it's kind of like Starship Troopers. We're trying to take over planets from occupying enemies, and some are robots, but the really fun ones to slice and dice are the insect ones, because they get really gross and squishy and gooey. And you get all kinds of cool weaponry. You level up, you get new attributes, and you get, what do they call them? Stratagems. Yeah, you get these new stratagems that pop in that allow you to throw up a UAV or
but how you
acquire fire a flamethrower.
These stratagems.
Yes.
I mean, you need to really take your time because you're hitting arrows here like you're playing Dance Dance Revolution,
Yes.
but on your controller. And you have to do that while there's enemies coming at you and they're all around you. So you really need to have friends that you're playing this game with so they can protect you.
Yep.
Playing these levels on your own, not easy at all.
No. And what happens too when you get hit by one of these bad guys is that you end up in this kind of like scurrying on the ground. Help me!
X.
Help me!
Pressing
And you're
X.
tapping the X button as fast as you can while they're just the monsters are gnawing at your feet. And it's really harrowing and effective and way more innovative than you would give a two thumbstick type shooter to be.
It's true.
I think they've done a really phenomenal job. And then you throw in a pretty robust multiplayer component where it's really fun to play with up to 4 people. And you're also part of a larger kind of global conflict where you're seeing all of the statistics and the way that you're taking over these different planets.
Yeah.
All of that data is up there for you to soak in as well.
Totally. It's crazy because it's this huge world that's divided into 3.
Yeah.
So each third of the world has different enemies that you need to go up against, but you can see how many people are playing in each world, how bad the enemy threat is in that world, how much we have taken over and our influence has taken over, and you can see how much of an influence you have on the games as well. The more you play, the more influence you have, and you also level up your character too. I mean, I gotta say, I'm terrible. I'm absolutely horrendous at this game, and I felt like people that were playing with me knew that I was terrible and wanted to get the hell out because I was not helping at all. I'm trying. I'm still trying. I will keep coming back to this game, and I'll let it kick my ass for sure. But that's the thing, when it kicks your ass, you feel like, I'm gonna try it again.
Yeah, you're not fighting the mechanics of the game or
No.
the design of the game. It's a really smartly handled title. It's
Yeah.
just fresh enough. I mean, if it was another first-person shooter trying to sort of compete with the likes of Destiny, it would get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
But the perspective and the perks, like at one point I was inside of a giant robot mech type thing, running around, just battling and crushing
love
everything.
that.
It was really fun.
I had fun, and I apologize to the people that tried to help me, and I clearly did not help
Gotta
them.
get back in that fight, soldier. What are you giving
I will.
Helldivers?
It gets an 8.
8.5 from me.
Oh man, I still need a lot of practice with that one, but it's always better with a friend. So you in there, Jones?
You know, technically speaking, I'm still waiting for you to accept my Friendster request, which hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay. Let's move on now to simpler time, 2009, when you and Vic reviewed Demon Souls from Software.
From?
Yes, from the developer's name is From.
We're talking about Demon Souls. What we're doing is we're rebooting it.
And the reason why is because Demon Souls was so hard, we didn't get very far in the game the first time we took a look at it.
Even experts like us sometimes are humbled.
Oh, we got schooled by this game. This game is incredibly difficult. But there's something so innately compelling in this title because I think it's the fidelity of the worlds that it creates, and the combat sequences are fantastic in the game. So even though it is kicking your ass and there's all of these different challenges, you're going to fight harder and harder characters and then get into big boss fights and stuff, you still feel like it's so well crafted. It's compelling. It pulls you right back in, and you'll try it again because you really only get one kick at it. And if you die, you got to go all the way back and collect your souls and all the stuff that you left behind.
And that's kind of what I love about it, is the balance between risk and reward in this game, and that makes the old pulse rate go up, and that makes every battle that you get into feel tense. But let's be honest, you're going to die in this game.
Oh, yeah.
A lot.
Yes.
And the one thing you can't do is you can't pause the game mid-battle.
You can't do any of that,
You
no.
know, you better hope that all of your potions are all sorted out. You better hope that you have the right weapons already
You better
mapped out.
not break a weapon, which is what I did. I broke my big sword against a wall. I was bashing it against a wall for some stupid reason. It was broken, and then I got half the combat attacks on the guy. I was just getting killed mercilessly.
So all of your supplies, all your loot, all of your XP gets left behind. You can go back and collect it, but that also has its own risks because all of the monsters that just killed you,
come back.
they're still there waiting for you to come collect it.
And you only have one chance to go and get all the stuff that you just lost, because if you die again en route, guess what? You lost all of that cool loot. And it really was such a well-made game that despite all of the things going against it, people found this game, they loved this game, and there is that same level of fervor and excitement for the sequel that we're seeing for Skyrim. Maybe not in as wide a capacity, but there are lots and lots of fans for this game, and deservedly so. It's a fantastic game.
I think you got to try this, you got to play it, you got to put a few nights in with this and just see if it goes anywhere for you.
I love this game, and I can't wait to dive into the sequel.
Me
I
too.
think you got to have it in your library. Demon Souls, even today, I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
2 years later, I give it a 9 as well. The latest game from Software is called Bloodborne. It comes out tomorrow, and our review will be coming soon.
Don't go anywhere because Vic and Scott are making busts in their review of Battlefield Hardline.
Welcome back to EP Daily. Police dramas have been a staple on TV for many years, and the makers of Battlefield Hardline agree. Is the game worth the chase, or should it be put in cuffs? Let's find out in our review. Like Halloween and Christmas, you can always count on new Call of Duty and new Battlefield. This year's edition is called Battlefield Hardline, and things are a little bit different. This isn't a military shooter that we're playing per se. This is a full-on game of cops and robbers. What'd you think of this one?
Well, I was a little worried about this. I mean, not overly worried. I didn't have anxious. I didn't lose nights of sleep.
You worry about a lot of things.
Well, no, I felt like maybe this was Battlefield jumping the shark. I thought maybe this was the end. In this case, I was wrong. This turned out to be wonderful. I think the single-player experience here, without a doubt, the best single player of any Battlefield game that I've played. I can't believe how...
Except for the bad companies.
Listen, I'm still talking.
I know, but I have to interrupt you because you're forgetting bad companies, and those were both great games.
This game here, I care so much more about the characters. I'm so much invested in the world of Miami, the virtual Miami that you're driving around in, that you're shooting in. I like the fact that you don't have to be so violent when you play the game either.
That's cool, too. Yeah, I really appreciated that as well. There is this sense in the single-player campaign that you're playing a cop and you have to take down criminals. Now, you get into a lot of firefights, but it's way more enjoyable to take them down and cuff them and knock them out, basically. They have little Z pattern, very comic booky zzz. They're asleep as they're waiting to be hauled off to the police station.
All the little choices that they made. The writing is great here. The voice acting is great.
They're real actors. But I think one of the issues that I had with the writing is that when you start to throw in actors of this caliber, you compare them to the best cop dramas that are on television, and this still felt a little stereotypical and a little...
And you could feel them wanting to be compared to the best cop dramas on television. There are lots of great cop dramas on television for sure, but I still think maybe it's a baby step, but it's still a step forward for cop dramas in video games. And yes, you're right, it lapses into a lot of cliches. We're going to places that we've been to before. We're doing things that we've done before, but I still kind of felt myself falling in love a little bit. Yes, love with these characters.
Kai, look at me. Kai, stay with me.
I think where this excels once again, even though it lapses into familiarity, is in the Cops and Robbers multiplayer modes. And it's really because even though you're doing very similar things to capture the flag type things or capture the territory or grab something and run kind of things that you've done in previous Battlefield.
That's right.
This time there's more weight because you're actually seeing dollars fly out of the money bags as the robbers are trying to run away. And it's fun chasing those guys as the cop, and it's really fun being the guy with the money bag or trying to protect the guy with the money bag. Because it just feels almost like a scene out of the beginning part of The Dark Knight, with the Joker's caper in there or something.
I think that's the challenge, too, with all of the multiplayer options out there, and one of them, of course, is Advanced Warfare. You have to distinguish yourself somehow, and I think the little details, you've mentioned two so far, the Z's above the sleeping bodies, and the money flying out of the bags, literally, as you're playing the game, those are the things that you walk away from the game still thinking about, still remembering, and those are the things that really bring this game to life. I'm surprised that this is so good. This was written by Tom Bissell, who's been a writer in the business for a long time, and it's made by Visceral Games, who of course pioneered everything with the Dead Space series. Terrific job, and terrific job here. I can't believe that the Battlefield franchise has gone in this direction and made it look so easy.
Yeah, and it's fun too. I mean, the vehicle physics are different than the sort of tanks and jeeps that you've been driving around in the Battlefield games. Now you're in sort of muscle cars and stuff, or cop cars chasing everything, or paddy wagons. This is super fun, absolutely. I still feel like Call of Duty took my heart in the ongoing battle between Call of Duty and Battlefield, but this is absolutely one of the better Battlefields I've played in a long time.
Can I score it?
Yeah, what do you give it? Gets an 8.5 from me. Still having a blast in Battlefield Hardline, and stick around when we come back. We've got the Twitter question of the day. If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
EP Daily. It is time now for the best part of today's show. It is the Twitter question of the day. This one comes from Alan L. He is at Joke Blow. He's got a special one for you, Scott. Will the Scott C. Jones mustache make a comeback? I think the time is right and the people want it.
You know, we live in a wonderful time where we're always taking photos of everything, our food and our faces. Those are the two main things we take photos of. But I look back at those photos from the time when I had a mustache, and I don't feel so good about them anymore.
Why?
I look like an old Borscht Belt comedian. I don't know. It was kind of pervy. You like facial hair.
I do like
and
facial hair.
And you didn't like that mustache.
Well, the mustache was a little pervy. I prefer you with a beard, but I mean, obviously, it's up to you. It's your face. I like to grow on my mustache when I can.
Yours is coming in nice and thick this season. It is the time of year for Marissa to grow her mustache. But no mustache coming soon. I don't think so.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
sorry.
We'll talk about it later. EP Daily is done for another day, but you can check out full episodes, extended interviews, previews, reviews, and everything else we do all at epn.tv.
We've got more EP Daily already in the EP Daily oven, including a story on Namco Bandai's latest game. It's called Rise of Incarnates. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox. EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by Gameloft, makers of Dragon Mania Legends, which you can play for free right now.
The game is a 2-on-2 fighting and shooting melee combined into a hybrid pattern. So it's something that I guess Western gamers aren't familiar with. In Japan, the Gundam series shares the same formula. But the Rise of Incarnates, these characters are these human guys who for one day woke up with special abilities where they can channel power from gods and demons. All of them, they have unique abilities. Some can transform into demons. Some can summon a deity to fight alongside of them. Others will transform into a wolf. So we got a lot of cool characters.